issue, $37 trillion.
Well, the first thing you got to do is stop borrowing, and the second thing you have to do is stop spending. We collect $5 trillion a year in taxes, and we spend $7 trillion. We need to pass a balanced budget amendment. That's first and foremost. We need to stop spending money that we don't fucking have. $37 trillion is the debt that is owed. And as John Kitover can tell you, who's running for Congress, there's $100 trillion in unfunded liabilities. So paying off the debt, I don't think that's going to happen. If we start thinking about, how to solve this problem, we just need to directionally improve. Because if we continue this snowball effect, we're going to get to the point where right now the third largest line item in our budget is the interest on the debt. As we continue to spend ourselves into this hole of $2 trillion of additional debt every year, the interest on the debt is going to become so big that the interest will be the largest line item, which will mean that we won't be able to spend money on the things that we need to spend money on. And so I don't think we're going to solve this problem. I think at some point we're probably just going to give a middle finger to corporations, to people, and certainly foreign governments, and just say, hey, we don't have the bread. I think that's probably what's going to happen, because if you think about this mathematically, and I know there's not a lot of math majors on this stage, but 37 trillion, even if you factored away the interest, right? If you had $1 trillion surplus for 37 years, right? For 37 years, that takes you 37 years to pay that off. But when you factor in interest and the fact that we haven't slowed down the debt, it's virtually impossible. I cannot fucking imagine a world in which we pay this off unless AI takes over to the point where we become so fucking efficient that we're able to do to pay these things off in unimaginable ways. The other way would be, and this is probably even less likely, if we were to harness a comet and we were to draw the materials from it. We were to get rare materials, and if we were to harness it and we were to take advantage of that, although the problem with that is that if you introduce more of these substances, the value of it is going to decrease. So I don't know how you're going to fix this problem. I'd love to understand, for somebody that's studying this stuff today, how you would propose to solve this. All I could say is that we had a poll the other day, how many zeros is in 37 trillion? And a lot of people got that wrong. The answer to that is that there's 12 zeros in 37 trillion.
There's 2,000 years of natural gas on the moon of Titan. You can do that.
Yeah, so you would have an issue with us, like quadrillioning, like gold or something. Like, I mean, I know I would have an issue with it, but I'm surprised you would, Roger.
So, Roger, I actually do have a solution to this.
Oh, let's hear it. Hold on. John Kitover, please take notes. You're running for Congress. We need these ideas. Daniel, go ahead.
John here?
Yeah, John Kitover's running for Congress, and he's right here. He's listening. Yeah.
That's you, John. Okay. John, if you end up looking at this and you agree, you are going to benefit from a lot of super PAC money that's going to go to exactly this plan, which is to look at an entire bucket that's all along the heart and soul of what you're talking about transactions. It was a perfect example when you brought up what happens with drug dealers and everything else, is to have everything on transactions, but there's an issue. There's a monetary economy that has a number attached to it that you're not measuring in everything that you're looking about where the money comes from. This monetary economy couldn't even be measured before 1989. And it is massively larger than the real economy, where we measure GDP and do all that stuff and pay our taxes in, and the real economy we live within every day, where we're all overtaxed. And we have a monetary economy that's grown massively, and it's so fucking large that if you put a tiny, tiny transaction tax on it, you can get rid of virtually all the taxes in the real economy. Do exactly what you're talking about. The only thing that's missing, the only thing that's different, is that the bucket is much, much bigger over there. The monetary economy is untaxed. And when you figure that out, and you figure out a tiny tax attached to it. This is what some individuals who put together the idea to do this that we found in bed. Spent 100 hours of research on it, by the way. So we're either stupid and drunk the Kool-Aid, or we actually know what we're doing. And we're going to raise a super PAC on this very idea of how to end the debt in 8 years by taxing the monetary economy. Something that most people have never heard of, have no idea of. They also
You're talking
don't.
about Forex?
It does include it does include mortgage-backed securities. It does involve stocks. It does involve all the transactional monetary economy that makes the world economy work. And no matter what happens with tariffs, you notice that's where the modulating fact comes from now, is in the markets, no matter how much they try to regulate it. And I do think they do have to be fair markets and some basic minimum regulation. That should be clear what the fuck it is. But this is a big fucking hole that Scott Andrew Smith, who's the author of this plan, came up with, and reached out to me a couple of years ago, and I started to pay attention to it. And it's 270 times larger than the real economy of the GDP. On some days on foreign exchange, for example, and there's lots of other kinds that we could look at, on some single days on the foreign exchange markets, there's as much passed, sometimes more than 7 trillion in a single day. When we talk about 38 trillion or whatever, 7 trillion in a single day. And that's more than the entire New York Stock Exchange entire year's transactional value. Like, we've invented all these ways to move money in so many different kinds of weird packages, and letting all these, things benefit from it. But the systems that it's riding on are getting the fucking free ride. It's not poor people are lazy. I mean, we would disagree on that, Roger, and I don't think taxing them more gives them more incentive, but we don't have to agree on that. If we agree on fairness about who's getting a free ride, the monetary economy is getting a free ride on the old world real economy. That's what I think needs to be rebalanced. And if it does turn out to be feasible, fiscally feasible, to actually tax that economy and lower taxes for everything else, you might have a fucking solution.
Yeah, I'm going to pause you right there. I know John's probably going to want to respond to that, but I want to say something to Vesper, probably the dumbest person that's in this room. You said well-governed mixed market systems are best able to pay down national debts. So we have a mixed market system currently, and we have $37 trillion worth of debt. So Vesper, the utilitarian Gnostic atheist, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, respectfully. But if John wants to respond to Daniel, now's a good time.
So Daniel, I mean, you believe in an infinite bubble, because a couple of days ago you told me that you believe that people should be able to request however much money as they want. It's set to an expiration, and the people who receive that money in the transaction, let's say car dealership, it won't expire for them, but it'll expire for the people who made the unlimited request for that money. I mean, that is your economic solution, correct? Am I wrong in what you said?
You are wrong when it comes to ending the U.S. debt. These are two entirely different things. That's an experimental in the lab project of how to create universal income without government or taxes. So we're mixing apples and oranges. That's a fantastic idea or not. But what I'm talking about is fiscally being responsible to the fact that there's a gap, there's a hole. Mr. Future Congressman, I hope you are, no matter what your positions are to understand this, there is a monetary economy and a real economy. The monetary economy has zero tax on it, and it's 270 times larger. That's a gap. That's all I'm saying.
So you're basically, I don't want to say basically, are you talking about just literally tax transaction, just a transaction purely like Forex? Like you're saying that should be like 4 trillion?
Yeah. Forex and everything in the monetary economy, it's much larger than most people realize, and a tiny tax because it's so much larger, and you'd be able to get rid of all of income tax for sure. That would just be extraneous at that point, totally. Okay, I've done the math on this. Like, I'm not talking out my ass. Like, we spent a lot of time research. I do due diligence on companies for a living generally, so we know what we're doing here financially. And the numbers show.
What company do you work for, by the way? What do you guys do there?
Well, hold on. Let him finish, and then we can ask some questions.
Well,
Daniel,
question.
no, it's fine.
It's fine.
Hold on. Okay. All right. You know what? It's time. It's that time again. Everyone stay on mute, please. Everyone stay on mute.
Oh my God.
I'm going to read the rules of the room. So, no threats of violence.
A mental breakdown.
Well,
take this note.
hold on. If that guy interrupts again, I'm not only going to remove him, I'm going to block him, and then I'll write a letter to Joe in community and have it blocked from every room. Let's see.
I talked to Joe earlier, and he was telling him about you. He's sick of you writing letters to him, dude. Quit writing letters to Joe, dude.
Yeah, okay, got it. This guy, I'm going to write a letter to him right now, but I'm going to write a letter while you're in the audience. But because of you, the whole room has to suffer. This is actually a very effective way to get people to conform. So we want to talk about the rules here because of the interruption. So rule number 1, no threat to violence. Number 2, no doxing. Number 3, stay on topic. Number 4, I hope everybody listens to this one. Keep your shares brief. Number 5, this is another one that you're going to want to listen very carefully. Do not interrupt speakers, especially the mods. Number 6, mods may interject when appropriate, like I'm doing right now. Number 7, the N-word is forbidden on stage and in the chat. This is probably only going to be a problem for Lou. The rest of you are probably going to be good. Number 8, don't spam the chat. Number 9, do not bring drama here from other rooms. And number 10, English only. I think that one's self-explanatory because I only speak English and I wouldn't be able to monitor the chat or be able to do proper moderation if I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, did somebody want to interrupt me? Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Oh, all right. So let's go to Daniel to finish up with what you're saying, and then we'll pass the mic around. Thank you.
Just simple. I just want to get a discussion out there that there's this gap. There's something called the monetary economy. We can define it. It's not taxed. It's missing a big gap of what could be totally honest, sincere, fair revenue with not much of a burden, and it would clear up a lot of other burdens. I think it's worth an experiment.
All right. Let's take a quick little opportunity. Vesper, can you explain to the room what a utilitarian Gnostic atheist is?
Why are you hung up on that exactly?
Because it's a stupid term, and I want to hear you explain it in a way that would make me think that you're less stupid. Go ahead.
Like, what does that have to do with politics?
That's a good question.
Economics?
It's a good, well, you don't understand economics, so I think this pivot might actually serve you well. So why not an agnostic atheist? Why do you want to take the position that God doesn't exist?
Because I know that. I'm not going to pretend like I don't know that.
Oh, okay. So you know that your position is God doesn't exist. So
Yeah.
when you make that claim, the burden of proof is on you. Go ahead, tell the room your proof.
Supernaturalism itself presents a logical contradiction, which means it cannot exist. Nothing supernatural can exist.
So something coming from nothing would be supernatural, though, wouldn't it?
That might be an example.
What do you define as supernatural?
Hey Vesper, before you can definitively state that God doesn't exist, do you think you could just simply solve for Pauline's conjecture, the Riemann hypothesis? Could you do those two things real quick? It'd be real simple.
The what
Since you're the all-knowing being, Pauline's conjecture, the Riemann hypothesis, or Riemann, whatever you want to pronounce it. It depends where you're from.
Why do I need to know all things in order to know some things?
I'm just wondering. I mean, you can't solve for that. You know definitively God doesn't exist. Okay.
Well, I mean, you're effectively explaining where all things didn't come from. Or that's not the right way to say it. The whole universe here, if you're going to say supernatural, I'm not saying that must implicitly imply I believe in God, but I get the argument. Actually, for there not being
cause. I don't believe there's a first cause.
I mean, it could be a sequence of events. It doesn't have to be a guy in the sky.
Yeah, I don't believe in causality at all.
Don't you know that the singularity is now, and Lou Just Tickles here is one of the foremost Clubhouse AI experts?
What? That is not.
Lou Just Tickles. Let me ask you a question, Lou. What's your favorite AI platform at the moment?
What are you, like a hard determinist, or?
You asking me?
It's not a particular platform. What would be my favorite? Like, are you asking me what model I like the most?
I'm just saying, have you seen the
This
movie
platform,
Virtuosity with the guy from Gladiator? You haven't seen Virtuosity? It came out in 1995 with Denzel Washington.
Phenomenal movie.
Love me, Denzel.
Oh, really? It's got Denzel?
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, that's not Denzel. I don't think it's Virtuosity.
Can you elaborate on the
Griffin.
can you elaborate more on John on like the premise of the movie?
Well, I think, with regards to the title, when you look at the word Gnostic, I mean, that's gnosis, which is knowledge. And, wisdom is the best knowledge. So if you want to know God, you got to know wisdom.
Are those two things synonymous?
And Judaism, the Torah is so precious, and the Torah is wisdom. So, what is the
I thought
source of
wisdom was
wisdom?
a goddess named Sophia.
Yeah, I mean,
In the
transliteration.
Bible.
There's a lot of languages that are saying the same things.
Like Solomon goes on and on about wisdom as a figure, Sophia as a goddess that he's in love with.
Yeah, well, Sophia is beauty, which is one of the 10 Sephiroth of the Kabbalah. And, what is the
There you go.
capital of Turkey, Sophia? So, I mean, it's global.
Hey, Roger, I just wanted to say one thing. What you were talking about with the sales tax is exactly what I'm talking about. Could happen, and if we ever want to have a room about that sometime, we could really break it down. There's going to be a very big effort around it.
I'm happy to talk taxes. And by the way, the Brain Trust on 4 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesday is going to be having a room specifically about taxation. You should show up for that.
What date is that?
On Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time.
I will be there, Brent. Thank you for the invite. Talk to you then.
You left one thing out of the poll, Roger, is love. Love is God's love.
Well, okay. Put that in the chat.
But, who here can tell us what a utilitarian principle might be? Is frugality a utilitarian principle?
The greatest happiness principle is what utilitarianism is about.
Well, there's this amazing book. I bought it at what's called a bookstore once, and it's called The Practical Necessities to Demand Everything. And it says, in the end, we weren't greedy enough.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm asking, is it patriotic to be greedy as a nation?
I would say greed is a vice rather than a virtue. Capitalism tries to turn it into a virtue, though.
Capitalism doesn't speak of ethics at all.
You don't think capitalism rewards greed?
I think that if you are a good trader, you can be be highly profitable. You can make a lot of money, and what you choose to do with your money, you can be incredibly generous with the proceeds, or you can be incredibly greedy. Those are your options.
Yeah.
Capitalism is the only economic system that allows you to succeed or to fail.
Yeah, that's kind of my goal, to use capitalism against capitalism.
Oh, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get the people that are like, oh, capitalism's the worst thing ever. I also don't get the people that are like, it's perfect.
It's not about being
I don't
perfect.
get
It's not about being perfect. It's about being just, and more importantly, it's about being better than any other system that we've ever come up with. Now, if you come up with a better system, that's fine. But hanging out with people like Randy McDickerson is not going to help you come up with good ideas.
It's all hunky-dory if it's equitable and fair, right?
See,
But it's
this
gotta
is
be regulated
this
in
is
order to be that way.
this is where I have to disagree with you on that, Mojo. I think capital surveillance or surveillance capital, in terms of having recordings of Rabbi McDickerson, is valuable. To have a sample of something that's living, which is as rare as a star, is a good signature, recognition or recording. I mean, you know, I'm just saying that every man and every woman is a star. So,
Are you guys aware that Randy McDickless threatened to rape Ann Hero's underage daughter? You guys aware of that?
no, I hadn't heard that one.
Yeah. So these are the people.
That's an extreme way to phrase it.
Now that was what was said.
She's also going around calling him a pedophile, which he's obviously not. And so he said, yeah, I'm going to fuck your daughter when she turns 18.
Wait.
Those type of statements.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just explain. Let me just explain this. Any guy that would say that clearly is only saying that online. And here's the great thing. That guy will never in a million fucking years ever talk like that to a man, woman, or child face to face. He's the biggest fucking coward on this fucking app, and for whatever reason, you're friends with him. Explain yourself.
So I've been to Jordan twice, and I know Jordanians.
Hold on. So if someone's going around calling you a pedophile, don't you think it's like a bit ironic that that's what he said back to her? Because that's what she was doing to him. She was calling him a pedophile. I don't remember exactly for what, but nothing to do with that. And so he said, I think it was wrong. I told him.
Well, I hear.
He said, I'm gonna fuck your daughter when she turns 18, which we all agree that's legal because it's a mad number. It's you're 18, everything's legal now. But yeah, he shouldn't have said it. It was wrong.
Well, I mean, how do you rationalize death threats all the time?
Take contention with it being 18. That's fucking wild.
Listen, Pepe says he wants to kill hitchhikers and burn their bodies in acid all the time.
18th birthday, if you're completely an adult, or the day before you're not. I think that's silly. It's not really.
No, it's just the vitriol and just the way you said it. It really came across like you wish it was bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, I guess, why you're thinking of it.
So what is this? A gaslight app? Are you saying that this app is used to gaslight people? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it sounds like they're saying. It sounds like they're saying that having sex with an 18-year-old is
why would an adult male speak to a woman the way that he spoke to her?
Because he's a pedophile.
Look, I have a very different take on Anne. I don't want to be disrespectful to Joe, but I'm not a big fan of hers. Some of the things that she's done, the way she's acted, and for her to just leave it at that. I don't like her. You cannot like my friend. We can still be friends.
No, well, hold on. You can have whatever grievance you want. Look, this app's gone through a lot. I've had grievances with her in the past, but I also think that I think that she's proven over the last several years on this app to navigate it as a pretty good actor. I think when she first got on the app, that probably wasn't true. That being said, I think the last 3 years or so, she's probably one of the most pleasant people to be around on this app. And if you have a different experience, that's fine. But even if you think that she's a piece of shit, why would you be friends with someone that would talk to a woman that way?
And about a child.
Well, again, she was calling him a pedophile. He's not a pedophile.
Well, I have
Like a
been.
serious pedophile, like in my opinion, if they're a pedophile.
Walks like a duck, talks like a duck, looks like a duck.
Some people disagree with that.
I have recorded more Randy McDickerson rooms than anybody in this room right now, and I've been kicked out of more Randy McDickerson rooms than anybody else. And I got to tell you, all the time that I've ever spent recording Rabbi Randy McDickerson has always been a total waste of time.
I don't know, man. I just think I think grown men. I think grown men should
He's
have
a troll. He's a joke.
Well, no, he's not a troll. When you talk to a woman that way, no, that's not being a troll. That's not being a troll. Being a troll is to you know, it's more of a playful thing. There's nothing playful about talking to a woman that way. To say that you're going to have sex with her daughter, like, why would a grown man say that? Her daughter's 11 years old. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Raj, that's why.
Well, yeah, it's fine, fair enough. But again, he said specifically when she's 18, and he's doing, she's calling him a pedophile. He's going around and saying he's a pedophile. Like, I think both are wrong for doing what they did.
There's no explanation. You know, you could listen to 1,000 people on this app and come to the same conclusion.
What's up?
Ro, what do you think? A grown man telling a woman that he wants to have sex with her 11-year-old daughter when she turns 18. What do you think of that? I mean, you're a father. Like, if somebody said that to you, you have a problem with that?
Yeah, the person's a sick fuck, should be locked up and locked permanently. It's a sickness.
Or, see, everyone can agree with
Well,
that.
is that a serious question?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly. So to accuse someone of that,
It's Lou's best friend said that.
yeah, it's Randy. Yeah, everyone knows that. Like, just known for like 4 years. It's a serious accusation.
He's your clownhouse bestie?
Oh yeah, Randy. Oh yeah.
Okay, serious question. Have you guys engaged in the Destiny Big Fuentes before?
No, not really.
Not
Like,
yet.
who's actually said this, by the way? Who's said
Well,
it to who?
Rabbi Randy McDickerson.
Okay, yeah, go. To who?
To Anne.
She was calling him a pedophile, and I don't know. I forget why. You know, she was blaming him for, you know, a certain kind of photos of her being put out there. But you know, that's she put it out there quite a bit herself to say that. And so yeah, she like overreacted. He obviously overreacted.
Do you know the definition of